In the quiet village of Yumiwife, there lived a boy named Obinna, thin, silent, and always thinking deeply. People said he was slow. Others said he was strange. But Obinna simply felt different. One night, when the moon was bright and the air was still, Obinna sat outside, staring at the ground. Then something happened that no human had ever seen. His shadow stood up and walked away. At first, Obinna thought he was dreaming. He rubbed his eyes. But no, the shadow moved faster, slipping into the darkness like smoke. And then it vanished. The next morning, villagers whispered, a person without a shadow is a person without direction. Obinna felt cold in his chest. He knew one thing: he had to go after it or lose himself forever. He tied a small bag, took a torch, and stepped into the unknown. The forest was too silent. No birds. No insects. Only the sound of Obinna's heartbeat echoing in his ears. The deeper he walked, the more he felt eyes watching him. Then suddenly crack, a branch snapped behind him. Obinna turned, shaking, but saw nothing. He walked faster. The trees seemed to close in around him, forming a cage. Then a low growl rose in the darkness. A giant leopard, golden eyes glowing, stepped out. Obinna froze. The leopard circled him slowly, like a king inspecting a servant. Then, in a calm, deep voice, it said, "Why does a tiny boy enter the forest without fear?" I am scared," Obinna whispered. The leopard stopped in front of him. "Good, only fools travel without fear. But courage means walking with fear, not without it." The leopard touched his forehead with its paw. A symbol appeared, the mark of courage. Then the leopard melted into the shadows and disappeared. Obinna breathed again and continued. But now, the forest felt even darker. Hours later, he reached a river so still, it looked like a mirror. On the other side stood his shadow, silent, waiting, watching him. He stepped forward, but his reflection in the water refused to follow. Instead, it spoke in a voice that sounded like his own. "But older, why do you chase me?" Obinna's lips trembled. "I don't want to be nothing," he said. "I don't want to be weak. I'm tired of being afraid." The river responded, "Then speak the truth. What are you really afraid of?" Obinna's heart shook. "I'm afraid I will fail. I'm afraid I will disappoint everyone. I'm afraid I will stay the same forever." Thunder rumbled across the sky. The river slowly opened, a thin path of stones. Obinna stepped onto it, but halfway across, the stones began to sink one by one. Faster and faster he ran, jumped, slipped. One last stone sank beneath his feet. He leaped. His fingers caught the riverbank and he pulled himself up, breathing hard, clothes soaked. He looked up. His shadow had already left, and Obinna had no choice but to chase it. Night fell fast. Obinna stumbled into a small clearing lit by a single fire. An old woman sat there. She had 7 eyes, 1 on her forehead and 3 on each cheek. She stared at him without blinking. "You seek your shadow?" she rasped. Obinna nodded. She pointed to a sack beside her. "I can show you your greatest weakness." Obinna swallowed. "What do I do?" She opened the sack. A black fog rushed out, swirling around Obinna. He saw visions. The times he quit early, the days he wasted, the moments he doubted himself, the dreams he was too scared to chase. He fell to his knees. Shaking, the old woman said, "A person who avoids their weakness eventually becomes their weakness." Obinna whispered, "I want to change." The fog vanished. A new mark appeared on his arm, the mark of self-control. He rose stronger. The woman pointed to a mountain glowing in the distance. "That is where your shadow waits." The mountain was cold, sharp, and angry with wind. As Obinna climbed, voices whispered from the rocks, "You're too small, you're too weak, turn back, give up." But he refused to stop. Every step felt heavy, like he carried a whole world on his shoulders. Near the top, the path crumbled. He slipped, but he grabbed onto a ledge just in time, hanging by one hand, wind screaming around him. He shouted, "I will not quit. Not today." With everything in him, he pulled himself up, and there, at the top, his shadow stood waiting. The sky darkened, thunder cracked, wind roared like angry spirits. His shadow circled him slowly, then it spoke. "Why did you chase me?" Obinna stood firm. "I want my life back. I want my strength. I want to know who I am." The shadow's voice grew deeper. "If you accept yourself, your fear, your pain, your mistakes, I will return." Lightning flashed, wind screamed. Obinna clenched his fist and shouted, "I accept everything, the fear, the failure, the doubt. I accept the journey that made me who I am." His shadow burst into bright light, wrapped around him, then sank back into his body like warm fire. For the first time, Obinna felt whole, calm, powerful. The storm stopped, the sky cleared. Obinna had become someone new. When Obinna returned home, people felt the change before he even spoke. His walk was confident, his eyes were sharp, his heart was open. The elders said, "You chased your shadow and found your destiny." But Obinna smiled and answered, "My shadow didn't leave to scare me, it left to lead me to the man I was always meant to become." He became a guide, a storyteller, a mentor to young people, and he taught everyone courage is not the absence of fear. You become powerful when you face your truth. Your future waits on the other side of your fear. Never run from yourself.